Welcome back to the decrepit underwater city of Rapture, the stuff of soggy nightmares. There are big changes afoot in Bioshock 2, the biggest of which is the fact that you're now a big daddy. But the changes don't stop there. Nearly every minor complaint from the original has been polished like a beautiful piece of mother of pearl, leaving a game that is superior to the first in nearly every way. While Bioshock 2 has an admirable cast of new freaks, misfits and mutants, it's the city of Rapture that is the star of the show. This gloriously inappropriate place has devolved even more in the decade since the first game's outing, and contains some of the most beautifully crafted levels we've ever had the pleasure of exploring. The devil is in the details. Everywhere you look, there's a story waiting to be told. Whether it's the hundreds of paintings on the walls, the back rooms behind the functioning faces of this town, or the increased use of massive open areas containing spine-chilling set pieces, this is a place that will inhabit your nightmares for years to come. And yet, we would have liked a little more difference from the first game. Other than the underwater sequences, it often feels like we've walked these halls before, even if they are some of the prettiest, and yet ugliest, halls we've ever seen. We have to point out the ear-ticklingly good sound within Bioshock 2, whether it's the blood-curdling orchestral score, warning of impending doom, or the incredible environmental and AI voice taunts that place you right in the game world. We're hard-pressed to think of another game that has sounded so right. And this time around, the audio diaries are actually audible in the middle of a battle, making the story that much easier to follow. As a Big Daddy, actually the very first Big Daddy ever made, you're much tougher than the wimpy crash survivor of the first game. So Bioshock 2 presents you with much more difficult combat scenes. It's not uncommon to face off against half a dozen atom-addled freaks at a time, all begging for some in-the-face drill action. Many of these battles are triggered when using Little Sisters to harvest Adam, giving you plenty of time to set up a defensive perimeter that makes Alcatraz look like a kindergarten.
Here it is!
As well as the regular splicers, who look slightly less like melted Barbie dolls this time around, there's a range of new bad guys waiting to test your improved ability to smash faces. The Big Sister will shame any real-life Big Sister's ability to pound on you, while the Brute Splicer likes nothing more than to play football with your head. While the various foes have AI that makes other games look decidedly simple, combat still has a couple of issues. The best laid plans often go awry as splicers avoid all of your expensive traps, and you'll often respawn after a defeat with no money, no plasmids, and no ammo. You're forced to respawn, take a fraction of health off your foes, die, respawn, and repeat until the scene has been cleared. It can get a little tiring, but doesn't happen anywhere near as much as the first game. Thankfully, some cool new weapons help mitigate this issue, provided you've got the ammo for them. Hacking has been reinvented to keep you in the game, rather than whip you out to a minigame, but the biggest improvement by far is the new research camera. This now records just like a handycam, and rewards you for trying different attacks on enemies. Rather than just shooting and shocking, try tricking the AI into using hacked health stations, or falling into your cyclone traps for added combat bonuses. This new system really encourages you to use all of the tricks up your sleeve. Despite the feeling that Rapture is overly familiar to the first game, as well as some minor combat niggles, Bioshock 2 proudly emerges from the depths as a worthy successor to one of our favourite games of all time. The deeper combat results in thought-provoking gunplay that is worlds apart from the duck shoots of other popular shooters, while the mature storyline offers vastly different endings depending on how you choose to play the game. While other first-person shooters are happy to offer simplistic experiences, Bioshock 2 is the definitive shooter for adults. Highly recommended, 4 out of 5 stars. We'll have a multiplayer review of the game a couple of days after launch, so we can test it out against real players in a real online environment.